Hello everybody, my name is Philip Olami and I welcome you to Let's Talk About Worship. Today I want to talk about actually starting a series on the total worshiper, and this aspect is going to focus on finding purpose. As a worshiper, you need to understand that purpose is a very important part of your ministry. There's a saying that says that where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So, as a worshiper, you need to know your purpose. What do I mean by purpose? I will explain this in the course of the video. But I want you to please know as we start that as a worshiper, you need to know that you are not a lone ranger. When God called you, He called you to Himself, but He also assigned a group of people to you to assist you or to help you in the way. This is God's method and it has not changed. It has never changed. There are Aarons and Hurs, that are just waiting for you to launch out. People that God has assigned to you. And as a matter of fact, one of the proofs that God has called you is that He will send people your way to help you along the way. If Jesus, as the Son of God, needed 12 disciples, then you need a team. John the Baptist, he had a team. Elijah had a team. Even Moses, he needed Joshua. How about David? David, he had the mighty men. But the sad thing is that many worshippers, they have mistreated their helpers of destiny or maybe their team members either through greed or pride. And as a matter of fact, one of the first assignments of a worshiper is the ability to be able to lead your team. If you cannot maintain sanity, you cannot maintain unity within your team members, it will be difficult for you, it will be impossible for you to attract the presence of God. Because God will not dwell in an atmosphere where there is strife. And there must be unity. The place of unity is the place that attracts God's presence. In the book of Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through to 4, the Bible said that when the day of Pentecost had fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. They were all with one accord in one place. Then suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. Yes, that was a great experience. The Holy Spirit came down. It was powerful. But how did it start? They were with one accord. They were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. But it first started from the place of unity. They were in one accord. They were in one place. John chapter 7 verse 21, Jesus said that they may be one as you, the Father, are in me and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you sent me. So there is a reason, there's a need for oneness if God must move in your ministry, if God must move in your worship. Psalms chapter 133 is one of my favorite passages of the scripture. It says that, oh, how good it is for brethren to dwell together. New King James says, oh, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the oil that is poured upon the head of Aaron that flows down to his beard and even to his skirts. The later verse says that it is there that God commands blessings. But see, when brethren dwell together in unity, it flows like that from the head, to the beard and also to the skirts and all. So there is need for unity in your team. As worshippers, the fact is that we cannot do without our BGVs, background vocals, and our instrumentalists. They complement our effort, and that is why music sounds better when they are involved. So it is best that you have a group that knows your style, that knows your music, that are familiar with the way God moves in your ministry. And know this as an important truth, that any team members that finds it extremely difficult to work with you it may be that God did not send them to you. According to the book of 1 John chapter 2 verse 19. So what do? You move on. There must be a good understanding between you. There must be good relations between you and your team members. And you need to know as a worshiper that you are leading a journey. And that journey is such that you cannot arrive alone. You must carry everyone along. In the book of John chapter 18 verse 19, it says that the same might be fulfilled. Of those whom you gave me, I have lost none. So it's a journey that you must arrive. When you set on a journey to approach the presence of God, to draw the presence of God, you must carry your keyboardist along, you must carry your drummer along, you must carry your BGVs along. You must be one. One of the very important things that your worshiper must know is that you must know what you want to achieve in worship. You must know your mission. You must know the people that God has sent you to. And this is going to drive the type of songs that you choose, the type of songs that you sing, to compose. And know this, you are not sent to everyone. I hope you're not surprised to know with that. You are not sent to everyone. God has sent you to a specific group of people. And it is high time that you recognize and you identify those group of people. When you identify those group of people, it will dictate as in how you the type of songs that you sing, the type of songs that you compose, because you are ministering to that set of people. And even if you don't have their language, you need to grow yourself. You need to read very wide. You need to develop yourself in order to be able to speak the language of the group that God has sent you to. In the book of Matthew chapter 15 verse 24, he said, even Jesus, he mentioned that he was sent to the lost house of Israel. Peter was an apostle to the Jews. Paul was an apostle to the Gentiles. Galatians chapter 2 verse 8. It says, for he who walked effectively in Peter for the apostleship to the circumcised, that's the Jews, also walked effectively in me toward the Gentiles. This was Paul that was speaking here. So when it comes to your team and when you get to a place of rehearsal, what do you do as a worshiper? When you show up at a rehearsal, you need to, before you show up, you need to make sure that you have a plan. When you show up at a rehearsal without a plan, someone else will introduce their plan, which you may not be comfortable with, but you just have to swallow it because you don't have one. And I have seen many worshipers struggle in this line. I have seen many worshipers who allow their team members to drive them into zones that they are not comfortable in, and they try to fit into someone else's style and thereby losing their own originality. And this is just like fitting a square peg in a round hole, and it will result into frustration, tension, stress. And please don't get me wrong here. I do understand the place of growth. I understand the need to be well versed, but let your vision, let it drive your growth. Let your growth be in the area of your vision. Jack of all trades is master of none. I see many worshipers going into, forcing themselves into jazz and other musical genres in order to be able to prove a point. But if you do that as a worshiper, my question to you is, if you spend your entire life proving points to people, showing that you can do this, or you are proficient in this, or maybe some, another thing, when will you start to attend to your own purpose? When will you start to attend to your own purpose? And I hope you know that the most accurate measure of the value of life is not in age, but in purpose. The most accurate measure of the value of the quality of life is not in age. Life is not measured by age. It is measured in purpose. Paul says something in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 19 that really grips my heart. He said that if only in this world we think we have hope, then we are of all men most miserable. We are of all men most pitiable. Meaning, in this particular context, that if you concentrate your whole life satisfying people while hoping that the reward, reward will come from men to you, then such a person, such a worshiper, is the most pitiable. A life without a divine purpose is worthless. A life without a mission is going nowhere, and a life without a divine mission has no hope of eternity with God. And I hope you do know that the essence of ministry is to set you on a path that will lead you to God, not away from Him. And also, I want you to please know that no matter how long you live on earth, you will live more in eternity. So how serious you take the issue of your purpose as a worshiper will determine whether you will spend eternity with God or eternity in hell with the devil. And this goes to worshippers who struggle to maintain their vessel their bodies in holiness. One of the fathers in the faith mentioned something to one point. He said, if you engage in sinful activities and you still work for God, thinking that no one knows about it, he said, then you are a worker of iniquity. And God is not pleased with such people. There's no need, missing words. God is not pleased with such people. If you have an area of your life, and this is not judging people of God, if you have an area of life, where you keep where you engage in sin, and you keep doing it over and over, and every time and every now and then you keep asking for forgiveness, you need to introduce stricter measures. You need to get accountability partners. You need to you need to work on yourself to ensure that you overcome that particular area, because every area of your life that keeps dragging you down, if you are not careful, if you don't deal with it, it will be the same that will lead you to hell. And I want to encourage you that as you have started with God, the best thing that you can do for yourself is also to hand in God. If you allow the devil to lure you away from God, it will bring you down before you get the next opportunity to return to God. So the mercy of God is available for you today. I therefore encourage you to please make it count. Serve God wholeheartedly. Then you will be sure to receive a well done from Jesus at the end of time. I hope I've been able to communicate God's mind to you about the total worshiper, and that is finding purpose in this edition. I want to thank you again and again for joining me every week, for tuning in every week, listening every week. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you are yet to subscribe, Philip Olaomi Music, you'll be notified when we post more videos. And I also want to request that you share this video with others, with ministries. Let them be blessed just as you are. Thank you for joining me every week. Thank you for joining me this week. See you next week, and God bless you. Amen.